Welcome back, fourth graders. We are going to continue our revision process, and today is something that is something that all good narrative has, and that is to create vivid setting descriptions. Now, setting is really anything that your reader is going to envision, anything they're going to see in their minds, and it's your job as a storyteller to really paint that picture. So when you do that, the first thing that you're going to do is to close your eyes and picture this scene. Okay. So in my story, remember, I'm at the playground. So I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to remember everything about it. All right. It was old. It's kind of junky. It was not like the new beautiful Stewart Park playground. I mean, it was like the scrapey pool and like the paint peeling off is all the metal things, like the old Stewart Park, if you remember that. So I'm going to imagine that. And I'm going to think about, what do the people and the places look like, right? So what's my brother look like? You don't know my brother, right? He doesn't look anything like me. He's got dark hair, dark eyes. He's got darker skin, kind of shaggy looking. And his friend Chuck was like tall and skinny with like floppy blonde hair. And then I want to think about sounds. Okay, so it's summer. There's birds. There's the swing set. There was a sprinkler that was always going at that pool. The other things is like, what does it smell like? Only if it's applicable, which means like you can write about smells. If it's not smells, you remember. But I do remember very floral. There was like a hydrangea there and a lilac bush, and so it was very floral. And then, what stands out? And I think the thing that stands out to me is that Pixley Playground was kind of dumpy. It was like overgrown. So now that I have that in my head, I'm going to think about how to put that into my story. And I'm going to paint a picture with my words. So here are some places where I can kind of drop in setting descriptions. And there's really four ways that I do it. One is to drop it into dialogue. So maybe when the character's talking, "No," she said, picking nervously at the threads of her frayed blue sweater. So I'm just including what she's wearing into what she's saying here. Next way I can do it was put it into thoughts, have the character think about it. "Was that tree always there?" she thought, eyeing the towering oak in front of the squat brick building. So now I know there's a tree and a building there. The third place I can do it is to pop it into the action, right? So I could say he stepped out into the harsh sunshine, the heat knocking him back. So I'm able to sneak in the fact that it's bright and it's hot, right? And then the way that's probably the most effective to get the most in is to do something I like to call a camera pan. Now, a camera pan is like when you're watching a TV show or a movie and the camera will kind of turn and go all across the scene. That's when you're taking everything in. So, a great place to do this is when you enter a new scene in your story. So, in my piece, I'm at the playground, right? So, here's my camera pan. We arrived, panting and sweaty. The patchy grass and ancient equipment reflected the lack of care and supervision that we loved about Pixley. Just behind the park, the field that belonged to the college stretched out off into the distance. The swings swaying in the wind whined along with the birds, chirping their summer song. So I'm going to go back into my piece and I'm going to think about the places I can do that, right? So right here, I was thinking I could drop in some right into the action, right? So it says they're kneeling on the ground, looking at something over their shoulders. I decided to go check it out. I'm going to jump right in there. I jumped down onto the cracked sidewalk, kicking a few dandelion heads off as I made my way over. All right. Now you can picture how I'm walking. You picture the sidewalk, you picture the flowers, right? And then back up here, that's where I popped in all of that stuff about the setting. But then I realized I forgot to tell you what they looked like. So I revised it a little bit more. Chuck, our friend from down the street, loped along with us, hiking up his threadbare jeans and pulling his Batman hat down over his shaggy blonde mop of hair. Rob looked small next to him, a good 3 inches shorter. His Silver Surfer shirt advertised his favorite comic book hero. So now I know what they look like. I know what they're wearing. I know what the playground looks like. And I actually changed it a little bit more. And instead of just talking about the college, I included the train tracks because that's where they're going to walk off to, right? So in all of these things, I'm telling you, what do the characters look like? I'm telling you what the places look like, and I'm doing that by hiding it into dialogue, thoughts, actions, and then doing a big chunk of setting when I enter a new scene. So I want you all to go back into your narrative pieces and find places where you can drop in these different setting descriptions.